And I think we're live. I think we're live. Welcome everyone. Welcome to tonight's stream. Tonight we are doing some creature drawing, and it's going to be a very hopefully chill session where we'll just be drawing and not too much going back and forth. If you're new to the show, then the way it works is that we're going to go on for a minimum of 2 hours, and then usually it extends into maybe 4 hours or something, but at least 2 hours, and I'm just gonna be doing stuff, and then you are welcome to ask or join the conversation or just do anything you want in the chat over there. And also, if you're watching, let me know that you are watching. Just give a shout out in the chat. It's just a little hi. You don't have to, but if you do, it's just nice to know who is here, etc. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And as always, like if there's any problems with the audio and stuff like that, there's also going to be some music added to the stream itself. If there's anything that doesn't quite work out, just shout out and let me know. And if you have any questions about anything, then ask away. It could be about the stuff that's happening on the screen, or it could be about anything else, etc. And I can see that already some people in the chat there. We got Plexiglass, hello. Plexi, Robsy, hello. Dio, hello. Gabriel Brasolin, good evening to you, sir. Media Kemchachkachki, hello. Hi, hello, hello, hello. All the things, that's amazing. All those things, cool. So, the stuff we're going to be doing today, as mentioned, is creatures. It's a little dragon. It's kind of a weird little dragon. It's so weird, in fact, that Hamza wrote, reminds me of the dragon from Raphael St. George painting, which I did actually look up right before the stream. And I guess it's that kind of like the old classic one, like this one. I'm assuming that's the one you meant by it. And I kind of understand what you mean by, like, it looks a little bit primitive, this dragon. So maybe there's something about that, which is kind of exciting. Exactly what I'll be drawing, I actually don't know yet. I just know that I'll be drawing a creature of some sorts. And I'll probably be doing a little bit of warming up. I can see that Chango is here, hello, and Schultz is here, awesome. Nice, and Rudra has written, please man, do your vids at the morning. No, that's the morning, it's not a good time for me, you know. Bald dragon, definitely, cool. Okay, I'm gonna make some music happen, and then it's gonna start playing, and let me know if it's at all disturbing. You know, it's just some low-key stuff going on, and I'm eating some chocolate at the same time. Okay, so the first thing that's gonna happen is that I'm probably gonna just be warming up a little bit with doing sketching. Oh, it's already kind of loud. There we go. So I've actually been doing a whole bunch of things the past couple of days, just to kind of warm up a little bit. Some different weird creatures. This one, and then I did this dragon here, and yeah, so I kind of want to add some stuff to that. Mostly been doing stuff that's a little bit alien, but today is kind of just free to do anything. So since we're on the topic of creatures, if you guys have questions about that kind of stuff, then feel free to ask, or if you have any really cool like niche facts about creatures, then you're also very welcome to share those. And I like, they have to be niche because I'm a nerd, and I pay attention to really niche facts about animals. But there's, you know, billions of animals out there, so, you know, it's very likely that you might know something, but it can't be like, oh, did you know that the elephant is the only animal with 4 knees, which, by the way, is not true. It doesn't have 4 knees. It's just a myth. So you have to go beyond that, you know. Elephants do have chins, though. Humans and elephants have chins in the skull bone. Rob C writes, got one of the tutorials today, really happy with the concept. Oh, I appreciate that. Which one did you get? Which one did you get? Probably just gonna draw some kind of oxen thing here. Constant Art and Blender, okay. Constant Art and Blender, like the beginner one or the environment one? I hope that everyone is getting ready for Christmas. For those of you who celebrate Christmas, it's not everyone who celebrates Christmas, but for those of you who are, then don't you have that thing where the older you get, the less and less you get into the Christmas period? Like, because I remember this thing as a child, and you start all the way from December 1st and just it's Christmas, you know, and it's a drug basically as a kid, and then you get older and older, and you're just like, oh no, Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. But then on the Christmas day, you start appreciating for very different kinds of things. I think I've appreciated Christmas food more and more every single year, and also the Christmas alcohol. Also appreciate that more and more every year. So, where as a child it was very much like presents, you know, that's great. Gifts are great. But then the older I've gotten, the more I'm like, no, I really don't need presents. But then people are like, okay, here's just a present, and then you just get socks. And I'm like, oh yes, I'm getting socks, because I wear my socks out, and I always appreciate getting socks. So this thing that I'm drawing right now is just a little bit of a warm up. It might become something, it might not become something. It's just something to get the gears grinding, if you know what I mean. But I'm still, you know, paying attention to like anatomical things, etc. You see like this line here, for example, and this you see like bum 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 bum. There's a little bit of a shape going on there. This is the mighty trapezius, like your neck muscle kind of stuff. So I am considering those things, and I think a good lat, like your latissimus, also the thing to mark out, and the same thing with like how your pelvis kind of comes together, etc. And obviously this is it could be some kind of rhino-like creature right now, like that's kind of what's happening, but we could maybe transform it into something different. You can do a lot with heads for creatures, like obviously a certain kind of body type will determine a certain kind of function, but heads also like really suggest the functionality of a creature. You do have creatures that have slightly similar body types, but then their heads are quite different to serve different functions. You know, like certain kinds of teeth or something for gnawing a specific type of plant, or ripping flesh off, you know, bones and stuff. All that kind of stuff. Let's see here. I'm just doing a little bit of hypothetical anatomy here. I'm not really following a strict anatomy. We'll get some big, weird molars. This year I'm really out of the Christmas mood, mainly because it's still way too hot outside. Okay, that's fair enough. That is fair enough. Christmas. Schultz writes, I'm 35, and the only thing that gives me joy in Christmas is the joy for my kids. Well, that is adorable, and I think Plexi already was ahead of me there with the aw. That's nice. That's great. I mean, it is the kind of joy where, which almost is like the best kind of joy. It's like somebody else's joy that, and you can live through that or something like that. And I guess that's how it is having kids. I don't have any kids, so I'm just presuming here, but I feel like that is a well-established fact by now. But unless your kids are terrible. I just watched an episode of Super Nanny or something like this. Super Nanny. And it was a particularly like terrible set of kids, and these kids were terrors. And it was a single mom, so it was not a great setup. It was a single mom, 3 kids, and they were just absolutely insane. Yeah, I mean, it was like, you know, kids just screaming and running into traffic, like pulling stuff down from supermarket shelves and just kicking stuff around like the footballs. Like, what the hell? And this, you know, the only thing the mother could like really resort to is like screaming and yelling and things, because I mean, she had no choice. Like the kids were a menace. So if you don't have those kind of kids, then I think living through the joy of your kids is probably great. You know. What else is here? Meteorites. Are you just freestyle? I'm just so right now I'm just warming up and freestyling. So if you have any kind of suggestions for the freestyling session here or the warm-up session, then shoot. That's absolutely fine. Do not. It's not a dick. No. We're doing something different here. Just ignore that you saw that. You know. Abyss sea creature. Yeah, I can do that after this one. Why not? Yeah. Milan writes, hello man, am I allowed to use your paintings as a concept for 3D modeling? I mean, that's absolutely for indie games, etc. So if you want to use it for a commercial project, like if you're making a game and using one of my concepts, then no. Like, but if you just want to do a personal project and use a concept and then make that for a thing, then that's fine. But then you just have to credit me, etc. on the wherever you end up posting it or something. But if it's just for yourself, then you know that should be fine. What about a species creature? What about like a heron, like bird? Yeah, I can do like a heron bird thing. Also sounds good. When I'm trying this weird kind of mouth thing. You know that what are they called? Like the big hairy beasts from Star Wars, not the Wookiees, the other ones in the ones that the Sand People use, the Tusken Raiders use in on Tatooine. These like big. They have these weirdly long, bizarre mouths. Also, did you know that those creatures, they used dressed up elephants for those creatures? Chihuahua. Is that what they're called? No, not a chihuahua. No, they're called like not tauntauns, like Star Wars Tatooine beast. Banthas. A bantha. These ones. They have these like weirdly wide mouths. Quite interesting. Bantha elephant, I think. Elephant costume. Yeah, here you have like the elephant and then the bantha thing. Yeah, it was something that they had essentially just dressed up elephants as these like banthas. Look at that. I mean, that's just what? And then they put the head on in front. Like, look at that. That's basically a mammoth. Pretty cool. I think a really big thing with creatures is that you want to find a balance of like the shapes, you know? Like I'm paying very much attention to how much mass there is here, how much mass there is here, and how much mass there is here, and how this whole creature is like balanced. Is like, I think the key usually to getting something that feels natural and interesting. And then you might ask like, oh, what exactly are the rules for that kind of balance? Well, that's just exactly the thing. Gonna turn the music down a little bit here. That's a good thing this is only a warm-up, because this is a little bit super interesting. Let's try here. We'll do a deep sea creature afterwards. That actually sounds pretty fun. Maybe something like that actually. That feels, it's kind of like a bull, bear, lion. So weirdly enough, the head has a little bit of a weird. I see there's no cool animal facts that are hitting the chat right now. Half expecting. Okay, you can get some from me. Did you know that the yak. The yak ox. No, not the yak ox. The yak ox. Isn't that what it's called? I have this musk ox. Musk ox. There we go. Musk ox. The musk ox. This one. Musk ox. It's not an ox. It's not a cow. It's not a cow. It's a goat. You'll be like, what is a goat? Yes, like, so basically cows and goats are already kind of related, but on the family tree I think you have this larger family called Bovidae or something. Not the yaks, the muskox. The muskox. Muskox, here we go. And it's part of the Bovidae family, exactly. And Bovidae, you can see, includes cows and all these other antelopes and goats and wildebeest and those kind of things. But this one is part of the Caprinae family, and the Caprinae are like sheep and goats, and Caprinae is not where cows and stuff are part of. So actually muskox are not cows, they're more like a goat or a sheep or something like that, and they're actually the biggest kind of that kind of animal, which is kind of interesting, I think. There's also the mountain goat, which also is a huge creature. This one, look at it. It's very, very bizarre. Very strange looking creature. But I would say the muskox is a bit more similar to that. I actually had a discussion with somebody about that on a video on Tiersu, if anyone's familiar with that channel, then this kind of looks like this is just a main now. Like that. Then we have the tail. Something like that there. Whoop. Got a little bit of foot here. And putting some toes. Schultz division, eating tapas, so I'm not that busy at the keyboard at the moment. And that's fair enough. I've just been eating a burger. I still have some fries, and the Hinba Bros is back. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Mario, Bullbear Lion sounds like a Pokemon name. It does sound like a Pokemon name, doesn't it? Bullbear Lion. I mean, maybe we're just on the Pokemon train right now. Also with the last stuff, the Tyranitar. If you guys watched last time when we were sculpting, then the thing we ended up sculpting was basically just a live action Pokemon. Like, it was this close to being that. A certain type of eel has 2 mouths. Oh, this is good. A certain type of eel has 2 mouths. This is the information that we want. 2-mouthed eel. Wait, so a 2-mouthed. I just want to assume some things before. Is it that it has not? I mean, it's not gonna have 2 mouths, but it has. It could be the thing where it has a set of dentures that sit on the inside of it. So many fish have 2 rows of teeth. So they have a outer row of teeth, and then they have an inner row of teeth. So they have these 2 rows. So it could be that the eel has something. A moray eel. A moray eel doesn't have 2 mouths. It just has like a kind of like a snake thing. Oh, that thing there. Yeah, that was the thing I was thinking with the 2-row thing. But this one has it on a joint thing. Oh, like that. I mean, that's just alien. Right, so that's actually these extra ones. An extra set. So I actually think the stuff with like having that separate element of teeth, that's quite common in fish. But I didn't know that the moray eel had it to this extent. That is really cool. That is awesome. Hello, Zach. That is cool. Okay, I want to search 2-mouthed eel. Then this just comes up, I guess. Of course, just moray eel. Yeah, because there's also this one, which is just a gulper eel, which is ridiculous. But it's not that it's 2-mouthed. That is cool. I didn't know that's how it worked on the moray eel. I think this image really illustrates it well. That was some awesome information. There was some other information. And woodpeckers' tongues wrap around their head. Yes, these are quality information right here. Woodpecker tongue. What the hell? So, okay, wait. Okay, I need to know what is going on with this thing. The amazing secrets of the woodpecker tongue. So kind of woodpecker tongues are a big part of what makes the bird. I mean, it makes sense that they would woodpeck and then they can stick their tongue into the hole to grab out the stuff. That's always made sense to me. And I knew they had these kinds of tongues, but I mean, of course, it makes sense that their tongue would be long and need to be coiled up somewhere or stretchy or something. But around the head, in both humans and birds, the tongue is supported by a bone called the hyoid. It's a horseshoe-shaped structure under your jaw that gives you the muscle in your tongue and the floor of your mouth. Woodpecker's hyoid, however, is vastly different. The center of the woodpecker's muscle wrapped is in the nostrils. In the bird's upper beak, it splits into a V. But how? And it goes to one of the what? Oh. Okay, there's some great stuff in the chat, guys. You need to like the muscly cow Tugruta, very cute. Was that the mountain goat? Tugruta cow. That's like some what? The Staus Tugruta cow. Okay, I don't know what that is. Tugruta. Maybe it's nothing. Tugruta. Okay. Oh wait, is this like what you're like the specific character, and then you like cow? Like okay, that's I see. Goblin sharks also have a weird mouth. They have the very detachable mouth. Yeah, they have their blah. But most sharks have that kind of thing on. The goblin shark is just very protruded. This is a good name for the shark though, goblin shark, because that's literally what it looks like. Do you have any weird names for animals in your languages? I guess there's quite a few different languages watching. So in Danish, for example, I think some of the things are quite funny, like an orca, like a killer whale, is called a blubber chopper. So a speck hooker, which is like speck is like blubber, and then hooker is like, I guess, like a chop or like a bite or something. So like chopper biter or like chopper. I want to call it like the blubber chopper because I think that sounds amazing, like an orca, genuinely. Okay, a hook is like, yeah, and then there's like there's other ones, no? Firben, I mean, firben is very good. So like a lizard, it's like a four-leg, four-leg, and it's not like, or four legs, which you're like, oh right, of course, that's the animal, the one with the four legs. You're like, oh right, great. Then you're so like, my cat is like, no, that one's not. Maybe Schultz can provide some of these ones. But if you, and I learned today, what was in Chinese, I think it's like whale is elephant fish. I'm like, well, it works, you know. And the penguin one is what is the amputee wing, what is it? Penguin in Chinese. Some people saying it's like business goose, but it's not quite business goose or something. Is whale then really a whale in Chinese? Is it really elephant fish, or is that just a lie too? Translation of whale in Chinese. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe that was just a lie. I've been whatever. Also, helicorpions had a bus. Oh my god, if you've been Bænkebid is pretty good. It's like bench spider. Okay, that's dope. I'm gonna remove some of these lines here. I'm gonna give it a quick dash of color, and then we can move on to the next one. Before we I don't actually know what the mouth on this one is like. Oh, what if it's like a mouth? No, that looks absolutely, I hate that. It's better that it's these like oversized cheeks. coloring on animals is very important. Like really, you can do a lot with the. If you get the coloring right, you can get a really good feel for the stuff. Animals are always colored, and really, every single animal has a color for a reason. Like there's a very good reason why it has the color it has. So after this, we're gonna do some kind of sea creature and then a heron kind of thing. I kind of want to do something with the double jaw thing. This is Greek, yeah. You wait. I have no clue. It's the Greek word for slug, and it's a mix of words for naked and saliva. Great, thank you. Elysia chlorotecae is a really cool slug as an inspiration for art. It can basically farm algae inside them and use their photosynthesis as a food source. Whoa! That's cool. That is cool. This is the kind of nerd we need to reach. I'm very appreciative of this this stuff. That is a good idea. Like we could use that for. Oh, maybe I want to do the deep sea creature thing. But if we do the heron-like thing, then I want to do that double mouth thing. I think that could be cool, even though that is a feature of some of the sea creatures. But it would be cool to apply it to the heron. And then maybe something with this deep sea. That sounds kind of cool with the growing food inside your body. I'm into that. That does sound pretty interesting. Okay, so here comes this thing where now I want to color this thing. Remember to save. Okay. Bird. Where should this be? Bird. Yes, there we go. I want to color this thing, and you're like, oh no, how do I? And it's like, no, I just want to be able to select the stuff. So I could go around and trace every single angle like this, which is just a pain. Then you always miss a spot somewhere, but hopefully this time around everything will be great. Come on, let me hit it, let me hit it. No! There's a spot, okay, there's a very obvious spot right here by the foot. Come on. Yeah. Yes, there we go. Okay, nice. Then I like to invert this mask, and then I select it, modify it, and I contract it actually by like 5 pixels, just so it sits inside the line. And then I use that as a mask, and I fill in the color. This is a good trick for doing stuff fast. This is not for like, oh, what is going on here? It's not necessarily the trick for really neat stuff, but for fast, then this works quite well. And then I just fill the stuff out here. And it gives me a lot of flexibility, especially when making colors. And the reason why I make the shape contract is that then I can take the line and I can set the line to the shape, and it just cleans the line up like a tiny bit, versus like having that, you know. Then it just cleans it up a tiny bit, and that can be quite nice. And then I can clean up these bits here around the stuff just ever so slightly, which is quite nice. Okay, coloring. So for this guy, it does look like it's already like it looks like it's something that's trying to keep warm. You know, with the extended tail and this fur kind of stuff. And color-wise, we could do anything, but I would kind of like to think a little bit about some of the features. The red is interesting, so I might give it a little bit of a red, just like base. So just have something that can like peek through some of the colors here and there, like a red vibe. And specifically, I may be thinking that something will go on near the head. So just put some colors in there. Something will happen near the head, and maybe it's a little bit like a baboon or something like that, or like a mandrill or something, where the head is this bizarre focus area, maybe for mating purposes or something like that. I'm creating everything in layers right now, just so I have a little bit of control. And this is more for speed than anything. It's actually not for flexibility, it's actually for speed, so I don't have to, if I just want to make a tiny adjustment, then I have quick access to it. Let's see here. Maybe I've been doing a lot of red creatures though recently, so I don't want to make it too red. Something, and you see like the red is just kind of like glancing through, or what do you call, peeking through the coloring. And I'm actually letting my strokes guide the pattern a little bit, and I'm seeing if like, okay, if there's something, and you can see there's a brightening below here, and I kind of like the orange feel, but I do want to try something that is not as okay. Actually, yeah, I like that. Actually, there's something about that. And I can keep some of the red near the feet and stuff here. That's not so bad. Get that in there. Yeah, something like that. Looks like a red robin. Yeah, but that's not too bad. I'm actually gonna merge these two here. And then, so the thing is that often you'll see that animals have, you know, a division between the stomach and the upper part or something like that. You have that division, and usually it's because of the camouflage, especially when you're standing on like in an environment and you have maybe grass and stuff. Then certain parts of your body is camoed in different kinds of ways, depending on the environment you stand in. And it's also some things with like lining up yourself with the horizon. So if you get like an antelope or something, and it's not all animals that do this, but antelopes, for example, you know, they look like this, or some of them do, right? And you can see just a very, very clear thing, and that's to mimic literally the horizon. Like, this literally just to match the horizon. And you might be like, well, the horizon is blue. Well, they only have certain kinds of pigments that they can display and values, but it just gives you a little bit of that like contrast to maybe blend into the environment. And sometimes it's for display, but the cut is for that. And the same thing actually goes for this stuff here. That's also meant to be like a type of camouflage, you know, like these divisions. I think it's really, really interesting. I love this the coloring of the oryx. It's great. And some animals have given up, like wildebeest. You know, they just like, yeah, no, like we don't need. This is just we know we can be seen. But then they have a little bit of stripes, and probably maybe that does something with the tall grass or something to blend in. You know, and because we're humans, we have 3 color vision, where most mammals have 2 color vision. Right, so they can only see. They will have 2 cones for color. So for us, a lot of the stuff is very obvious, but for mammals, it might not be. So, which is one of those things that I think are really interesting. Something like that. Maybe a bit of darkening, especially in this like kind of the mane of the creature. Maybe it has a darkening. Oh, actually, maybe it has a reddening on the top to kind of signify something, and we get that punch of red pushing towards the foreground. And this creature here, let's see here. Zebras, yeah, zebras. I mean, I think zebra technique is very different. Zebra technique is about causing confusion. It's not about camouflaging. So it's about not knowing which direction the zebra is turning. So if you're a predator and you're running very fast towards a zebra, and you have like 20 zebras all doing like this, because of the stripes, it can be very hard to tell what is front and back of the zebra, because it's hard to track all the random lines. So you're like, which way is it turning? So it is to confuse the predator's vision that they are striped like that, which I think is just so cool that they've figured that out, or more that evolution has kind of come to that. What about giraffes then? Well, when you're tall and big like that, not a lot is changed. I mean, lions have been seen to taking down giraffes and things like that. They're not so much camoing as they are maybe displaying kind of fertility. They're like, oh, I have all this energy for these extra cool patterns. I think the okapi has a quite nice pattern also. Okapi with the stripes on the back. It's a very different kind of look. You know, does it work in the forest? Maybe. I think they are forest dwellers, but okapi is the animal closest related to giraffes, which, you know, that's not too bad. Maybe darker actually. Yeah, then we get like a lot of contrast near the front of the thing here. A few lines here. Yeah, it's not too bad, it's not too bad, it's not too bad. Maybe something a little bit more. And then we have these horns. Now the horns, I'm not quite sure exactly what they are like. We do have a nice contrast going on with this creature right now. You know, like the very red head, and then yeah, that feels interesting. Let's see here. So we'll take a 5-minute break around the 1 hour mark, so probably in 15 minutes. So I want to try to wrap this one up in 15 minutes, and then we'll continue on from there. Okay. Let's see if maybe we have a blackened nose. Then I don't really know what's going on underneath here. Maybe is that part of the jawline? Maybe it isn't. That's just part of this thing like this. Hey, one NPC, welcome to the show. Maybe we'll have some kind of, or we could have some kind of blackened stuff around the eyes to minimize kind of sun reflection into the face. Makes it look like a panda bear. I don't like that. We just need to keep it very red. Maybe it has hair in its eyes. Maybe that's what I... Okay, you know what? That's what I want. That's exactly what I want. I want this stupid, annoying hair in its eyes. It's gonna make it look a little bit dog-like, I think. But that's exactly what I want, I think. We'll get this red bizarre hair here. Like that. Like that. Okay, cool. I think that's a good pass right there. Let's see, do I wanna... Let's just keep the line. And then we can do some quick shadow. Just multiply. Like so. Where we want the light from? Probably the top. This creature is a little bit more stylized than maybe what I wanted, but that's okay. That's okay. Like so, like so, like so. If you've done like a shadow pass like this, and if you're not quite sure if it's working out, especially if you're doing it on top of color, then I suggest making a gray pass layer like this and just see if your forms are working in this, because sometimes the colors can become slightly confusing, especially if you don't have a good sense of your forms and stuff. Then I think something like this can be quite helpful. Oop. There we go. Yeah, that might brighten up some of the undersides here a little bit. Get some slight bounce light going on. Like so. Like that. Like that, like that. Like that. Like that. here. They're a little bit distracting. Yeah, that's nicer. Then what I really love doing is like taking a new layer and doing setting the screen, and then literally just grabbing the local color of something and then using that as a way to make like fur shine or something. So if you have something, I mean, it does look like this fur is a little bit more rough, so it probably wouldn't need it. But basically something like this, then you could have that kind of stuff going on, which I love. It's just quite a, it could be quite a fun thing to make. Get that kind of shine there on the fur. Maybe it's kind of interesting to do it just on this like brown part, the brighter brown part here, and then leaving the darker, so a bit more of its own kind of stuff. It's not always it needs it. It depends on the material quality, right? Schultz writes, I sometimes use rim light to use rim light instead of bouncing light, but is that bad to do? I use it to get much clearer silhouette. So you use rim light underneath the stuff. I mean, that's fine. I think most typically you would have a rim light on the top. Like there's nothing wrong with having a rim light on the bottom, but having a rim light on the top is more common. So if you're doing something like, you know, like like that kind of a thing to cut out the silhouette, there's nothing bad about it. I think rim light can be great, and it can have a super cool effect. But I will say that rim light is also, it can be a little bit cheesy in a way. Sometimes rim light is exactly the right thing, especially if you're doing something a little bit darker and you want to maybe highlight like a mysterious quality. A lot of rim light was used, for example, in Jurassic Park with the moon and stuff to carve out silhouettes. And I think when the silhouette is more important than anything else, then maybe rim light is a good thing to emphasize exactly the silhouette. But here I got a lot of stuff in here that I think is interesting, like the materials and the qualities of these things, that maybe the rim light isn't necessary. But I think it's just, there's nothing right or wrong. It's just a choice. Rim lights do have a tendency, when people make them, for them to be flat instead of being dimensional. Like a rim light is a piece of light that's still hitting surfaces on the mesh, but you know, so you still have to kind of, if you can, look at, you know, okay, what is this surface here and there and stuff, and maybe here it wouldn't catch anything because of the way the surface is turned. Maybe here it would catch a lot. Maybe in the hair it would catch a lot certain places, but then not a lot other places. You know, maybe it would catch a little bit here on this horn or something. You know, there's lots of ways of dealing with it. Maybe it wouldn't catch anything there. Maybe it wouldn't catch anything there either. Maybe it would catch something So I think the thing with rim light is that it's a neat trick, and you see it a lot when you want stuff to appear more glamorous and more punchy. But maybe that's the wrong effect, right? Maybe it's but then again, also if you have a thing maybe that isn't that strong, that's often a rim light I feel like can not save it but make it look better than it is. And I think that's just the reality of like the business, is sometimes you feel like, this could be better but there's no more time, then give it a rim light, you know, if you feel like it needs to look a little bit better than it needs to. But if you're working with somebody with an eye, then I'm pretty sure that's not gonna work. Actually, all of that can just go away. So now, because you said rim light, now I'm just sitting and doing this rim light. It's not bad, you know. I'm like, oh, that's kind of fun. But I'm trying to really angle the forms, like so that it hits where I need it to hit, you know. Like there's a plane here on the back of that leg there, etc., that can receive those forms, right? And then it wouldn't appear here, because I'm imagining a light source that's somewhere up here pointing maybe even more towards us, right? So there's a cone here, right? Pointing slightly down, but also kind of towards us and towards the camera and stuff like this. That's what's going on. I don't want these two things tangenting too much. Okay, I think this one is more or less done. We just need a name for it. So so the chat needs to come into their own now. And I really wanted to do one where the hair is just way bigger. Like if we just imagine one where the hair is like way bigger. But chat, you need to give me a name. There was bull bear lion, but I think like something where the hair is just absolutely ginormous. You know, that might look a lot more interesting just because it's leaning into the whole stylized thing. Oh, it looks like a punk dog with horns, which, you know, is a little bit funny. Maybe that's what we'll try to do instead. Could give it some line just to. I think when you don't have that much time to fix something up, then line is a really good thing to contain everything. You can just always use it to save a bunch of detail, to wrap everything in. Line isn't always the solution. If I had more time to make the stuff that I want to make, or no, that's ill. That's not the right way of phrasing it. If I took the time to do the stuff that I want to do, then I would definitely be using way less line. Because I like the process more of just painting, but it takes more time. But I think you get a result often that is more to my liking than what you get with line. Like a painted result, basically. Devil Love, Robex Bison. You know what? Robex Bison, I like that. That is fine. I love that. Robex Bison. Let's give this this kind of a thing, and maybe like a this kind of a thing. There, Robux Bison. Awesome. So that was the. I'm just gonna save. There we go. For all those saving freaks out there, Schultz. We're gonna take a 5-minute break and then we'll be back and we'll be doing the deep sea creature, I guess. So that's kind of exciting. So see y'all in 5 minutes. And we are back. I'm gonna continue the music here. Then we got Hinbe Bros number 2. So that is great. Excuse me, I'm just burping. DG asks, how long does it usually take you to make 3 to 5 variations of a creature for a concept art? What is your usual process? What is my usual process? So, in general, I avoid doing iteration as much as humanly possible, especially when doing my own things. But even if I've been working with a client or something like that, then if I can avoid doing iterations, then I will try to avoid doing iterations. And by iterations, I mean essentially this. It's like, okay, we need a creature for the next Harry Potter film, whatever. I don't know, right? It needs to be like a strong, burly creature, right? It's like, okay, fine. Here is creature number 1. You know, here's creature number 2. Here's creature number 3, right? So this is, and then I've done like 3 creatures, maybe the silhouettes or something, and then you give that to the client, and then they're like, I like that one, and then we continue. So if I can avoid doing this, I will try to avoid it. This is by far the most common method, is that you do a bunch of different iterations and then the client picks something. But if I can avoid doing iterations, I will avoid it. And the thing is that usually I think that it often doesn't matter if it's that one, or that one that is chosen. What matters is just that there's a certain scene, or there's a certain place for it in a game or whatever, and there's a good design solution for that thing. That is, and there's never going to be exactly the right one, right? There's probably usually multiple good design solutions. So I think it's always better to just spend a lot of energy, or spend the energy and the time on making one good concept for that specific scene. Because yeah, it could have been something else, but if you just make one thing really good, rather than trying to like go down this like iterative path and then making micro adjustments. So it's a little bit of a longer answer to the question, but essentially, if I make something, I will try to make something like this and be like, okay, I made one thing, and I'll just go as strong as possible immediately, right? What the hell is going on with my? Something's going on with my. Maybe it's my keyboard that needs to be adjusted. 2 seconds. I just need to adjust my wire here and my keyboard. Nope, still the same. Why is this still? Did I have it made something happen on my? Okay. In any case, I will try to just make a creature as like defined as possible, as soon as possible, and then give that to a client. I always find that like a strong impression with something is usually the best stuff, and then if I have to do iterations, I make sure to do very, very different iterations. And I would rather work on this bull, you know, and then being like, okay, that's cool. Maybe we can get this to the final thing, and then we could do some iterations on the heads and stuff. But I also think with creature design, you design the whole thing as a unit. Like, you don't just switch out the head for something. Be like, oh, maybe we should try a crocodile head instead. Like, no, but then we should really think the whole creature as one big unified thing. So let's say we did this bull, and they're like, okay, this is a cool direction. Let's try something with a different head, right? It's like, okay, fine, let's try something with a different head. I wouldn't just take this creature and do a bunch of different head iterations on the creature. I would literally redraw the entire creature. I mean, if possible, I would want to redraw the entire creature with the crocodile head in mind, so that I can think the whole creature as one unit. Because I would change probably a lot of things. The silhouette would change slightly. I would still consider the creature and its purpose to be similar, etc. But you know, I would want to think everything in one unit. You know, then maybe I'd add a tail or something like that, and they'd be like, what is with this tail? I'm like, that's what it works with the creature, and they'd be like, but, and I'd be like, blah, 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 blah. And that's how I would do it. I think this will yield the best results. Just always like think big picture. Like, don't do these micro adjustments on a thing. You can't like we're not making chimeras. We're trying to make like a creature, and I think you want to think about it holistically, if that makes sense. But in terms of like speed and time, then I tend to work fast more than I work long, to a fault sometimes, right? But I will basically do, how long does this take? Maybe this takes like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, something like that. Of just like, so this whole thing takes an hour and a half. And usually what happens is that I have a pretty strong idea of what I want to draw, and if I don't, then I draw something, then I go by shape, and then I will try to, as soon as possible, decide on what the creature does and what its function is, and then as soon as I have that, then everything goes a lot faster. The same thing with something like that. This is just monster, it doesn't really matter. This was kind of like a, you know, the kind of more modern pterodactyls, so like these giant walking ones, like the Quetzalcoatlus. They kind of have this like body posture that's a bit more like that. This is the dragon, so there's not so much going on there. It's just like the body. But I would say an hour to an hour and a half is pretty common for me to draw a creature. Then if I wanted to continue drawing on it, I don't actually know if I have anything I've drawn on for longer. Do I have that? I don't think so. Do I have that? If I wanted to then bring it into, like, let's say a final concept, like something I would comfortably hand off to anyone, then I might spend another half a day or something on rendering it out. Yeah, probably like that. I really like drawing creatures. It's a bit of a shame that I haven't taken the time to just like finish up like a creature like really fully. I would love to do that, but yeah, I just for some reason I just don't take the time. Quick. I think it's quick. I mean, I think I'm definitely a fast drawer, but as soon as I have to start rendering, then it slows down for me. It does. It really does. So I'd rather move on to a new thing and do that. But I would love to do. I really been thinking about these last couple of days, maybe trying to finish up something like Alex has done for this dragon. So doing like a full breakdown of all these things. This is Alexander Ostrovsky, by the way, if you guys are not familiar. Great artist, great creature artist. But a bigger breakdown of a whole creature. I think that could be quite fun. Doing, you know, all the like wing kind of breakdown kind of stuff. Yeah. And he's done that with a couple of creatures, also done it with like this one here. which is this kind of almost Jormungandr kind of thing. So like was it supposed to be a Jormungandr thing? Like every time, when the first time I saw it, I always assumed that these were the front legs, but these are actually the front legs, and these are the back hind legs, which I think is just a way more interesting decision, and I love that about it, because I think just making those flippers and then a tail, I think anyone would have done that, but I think Alex knows enough about animals to Ostrovsky here to kind of make that decision. I think he had a sketch of it here somewhere. So if anyone knowing Alex, or instead of if Alex is watching, probably not, then I think it's great. I love it. Oh, where is this one where there's the no here? I think here you really feel it. So like, so these are the hind legs, right? And it kind of makes it look more like weird. Yeah, it's supposed to be a Jormungandr. So basically, the serpent, the world serpent from Norse mythology. That's kind of the thing. But doing something more holistic like that, like a bigger project, I would love to do that. And I've actually been warming up for the past couple of... Where did my YouTube thing go? Did it go over here? There it is. I think the whole creature stuff is like drawing wise, it's really different from project to project and from person to person. I think some projects would require you to probably just like shoot out 1 million creatures like very fast, especially if you're doing something like an MMO. But if you just have the one creature for, you know, Alien, you're doing the xenomorph, then there's probably a lot of iteration that goes into making that work. Who writes here? Plexi writes, this is completely irrelevant, but I'm having problems with the hair particles in the wolf I'm making, and I can't figure out how to fix it. It's up on the Discord, sorry if I'm annoying, but it's for uni and time ain't really on my side. I can't help you right now, but maybe in the weekend I can look at it. I'll find you on Instagram. DG, do you only draw creatures, or do you also have skill and experience on other types of drawing, like more human characters? Yeah, I mean, you can look up my art station if you want to. That's probably the best way to look at what I do. I do all kinds of things. Lately I've been doing a lot of like this kind of like 3D work, drawing wise. I've been doing all kinds of like some character work, and mostly I do just a lot of world building. I just posted this recently, which is just like weird little cowboy mech guy, and these guys are kind of fun, like mech stuff. So that's a good mix, and there's some older things, etc. I would say I do everything if I can. Okay, let's draw the next thing here. I'm gonna draw this sea creature thing, and then we'll do a heron. Because a sea creature thing, that's... I want to do that thing with the algae, with the thing where you... maybe something squid-like. Kind of inspired by the goblin shark also. Actually, let's do a side view. I think that's so about the whole creature process. I think I have a tendency to just work a lot on one thing. You know, so I have this one thing here, and I'm imagining a certain feeling and purpose for this creature, and I just push and pull the shapes and the lines until it fits that kind of feeling I'm going for. But if I don't have that feeling to guide me, then basically it's like I'm looking for something awesome in the forest. And if I don't find something awesome in the forest, then I'm going to be sitting here for a long time. So having that feeling is very important. Even if it's not like a specific creature idea, then having the feeling of a certain creature. And right now I'm going for something that's kind of, maybe it's hard to describe, but like slim and sharp. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I'm just trying shapes until it feels like the thing that I'm feeling. It's a little bit fish-like, but I kind of want... It is the right kind of feeling. This is the kind of feeling that I wanted. I really want this to be squid-like, so it can, or not squid-like, but have a squid quality also. Kind of that like maybe looming or bizarre intelligence, potentially. Especially because we started to talk about slugs and squids are related. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Dome-like thing. Maybe it has tentacles that come from the inside of the mouth. Like basically, because now we also looked at the woodpecker and stuff with this tongue, so maybe there's a reasonable thing where it has a kind of tentacle-like thing. Maybe it's a lure even. Yes, okay, this is more correct. And then I think at some point in the process I will usually feel like, oh yeah, right, this is where it feels right. And it has less to do with, okay, this looks, I mean, sometimes it just has to do with like, oh, this looks good, but it's much more about like, oh, the creature feels balanced and like, oh yeah, they would have this functionality here and certain things, but and it's a kind of abstract and hard to exactly explain how it works, but that's usually how it works for me. And I'm not really looking at any reference here, I'm just using my visual library as much as possible with things I've seen and stuff. And if I was using reference, then probably the result would be even better. But this, you know, what we'll do is like we'll imagine that this one, maybe this one is like a meter or something, or maybe it's bigger. I don't know how big this thing actually is. The jaws feel quite thin, so it kind of feels like this thing would grab something and then but maybe it has two tongues. To grab something with. Makes it a little bit less elegant. I think actually just the one tongue, but it is a very ambidextrous tongue, kind of. We can do some extra kind of teeth in here. It has some of this kind of stuff going on, so we get a little bit of that goblin shark kind of feel popping out there from the top. It really looks like it would accidentally, you know, cut off its own tongue. Yes, I 100% want to do a lure, but I'm thinking it could be just a color difference more than anything else. it's missing some kind of, like, it's very elegant and sleek and stuff, but it's just missing something that makes it that much more out there. Like, it's okay, but it's missing something. The problem is that it's kind of like a... It's not really a lure fish. It's more like it has a long tongue that it can kind of eject out and then maybe grab something and then pull it back in, because it does look like it's quite sleek, so it would maybe swim quite fast. Or maybe it's more like kind of the moray eel kind of thing, where it comes out from a certain place. And I was maybe imagining it would have a little bit more directionality. Maybe the thing is that it's missing a little bit of fins here and there. So give it a bit more. Yeah, okay, I like that. There we go. See it without again. No, I still like it like that more. It's just how it is then. It's just like this. Possibly. Yeah, that's okay. I will. It feels right. It's just maybe the colors will do it. Maybe the colors will just do it. Although somebody needs to give this a name, like snapjaw or I don't know. Tongue, like okay. I haven't really looked at the chat for a while now. There's some great suggestions. I'm seeing there's a thing about like wait, how to there's a question from Tatoon asking how do you start working on your concept character? I would recommend, I have a video on my channel called how to draw epic characters. I think that's a pretty good that's a good video to dive into on that subject. Aditya writes, what if you need to make a character which you can show emotion from body language but isn't familiar to known anatomy or any animals, like an alien species? Okay, that's actually a really good question. So if you, it kind of goes against how we work as humans, because we have certain emotional triggers, like face is one of the core things for humans, and then beyond face, then body language. Body language is a much simpler emotional indicator than something like face, but it's still important. Like simple doesn't mean bad, it just means simple, you know. So I would say with an alien thing, then if you start giving it features like the ability to have some sort of thing that is eyebrows, then you can every time you want something to read as emotionally, like to read emotionally, then you typically need to give it a kind of emotional feature that humans understand, right? And if you want to make something that's very alien, then I would say that like facial emotional features is not the right way to go, because you're just gonna make it more, it's gonna have human-like features. I mean, it can work, but it's just not gonna feel that alien, you know. So something like the creature from Alien it's alien, but it's not like the most alien thing I can imagine. I think something from Arrival, for example. If you haven't seen that film, then the aliens from Arrival, they are very alien. And showing emotions from those things is quite hard. But if you wanted to show emotions from something like that, then I would go body emotion over trying to do something with the face. If you wanted to feel alien, get me right? Obviously we have aliens and stuff like Star Wars and things like this, and often then it might result to facial expressions or something like that to give off a certain feeling, but they do become less alien, if that makes sense. You can also look at like a lot of robot design. I think the design for Wheatley is quite interesting. They're using other features to express emotions, but you have to like they do some things with the eye, and the eye makes it seem, the eye basically works like a human eye, so you read the emotions that way. But then they have these two handles on Wheatley in Portal, and the two handles kind of act like eyebrows, but not really. And if you saw it out of context, then maybe you wouldn't read the emotion into it, but once you've used to the character for like the first 10 minutes of the game or something, then you kind of establish what those emotional things means. It's kind of like dog ears, right? Like humans don't have dog ears, but we know that dog ears have a lot of emotion, so we're used to dog ears. So depending on your situation, you could probably design something that is still, oh, this thing is so broken, that's still emotionally varied or something. And if you have the time, you know, in a animation or a video or something to expose people to the emotion, then I think that could be done. But if you don't, then I would say like body language is probably your best bet. Even if you have something very tentacly, like if you have a squid that's very like this, you know, like very out and open, you're gonna read that as out and open, maybe even angry or happy or excited or something, versus like if it's very curled up, then probably it feels more threatened or scared or fearful. right? It's hard to read, but you can still do emotions, and body language are a lot more universal because they're usually about protecting or attacking or feeling relaxed. You know, that's also a thing, like it can be relaxed. Oh, right, so you're doing a film. Did you? That's what you're saying. So yeah, okay, maybe that applies. I hope that makes sense. DG, would you say getting more context of the environment, world lore, design specific about creatures like color, it needs to have a size, how it lives, how it feeds, facilitate your work? 100%. If I can do world building for every single thing I do, I will do world building. If I can explain why everything is the way it is, I will do that. I just like designing that way more. I think all the design I like out there is probably made that way. Unless I'm into something just purely for what it looks like. But anything that's designed for a purpose, whenever it's grounded in some kind of fiction or world or something that feels real, then 100%. What about doing a live format in which the chat gives you a few constraints and info about the context the creature would fit in, and you try to draw something out of that? I think that would be pretty fun. Yeah, that could be super fun. We'll do that at some point. I'm not ready to do it tonight, but let's definitely do that. That could be great. Things like creature lives and evolved in a vertical environment, feeds on little creatures and vegetation, cannot fly but can move freely through the environment, etc. Tentacles. Jaw Kings. Oh, that's good. Reef Snatcher. Nerat's Trapper. What about Reef Trapper? Reef Snatcher is pretty good. Jaw Kings is so funny though. Jaw Kings. Oh my god, that's really funny. Jaw Kings. Do I want to name it Jaw Kings? Maybe we can find, okay, the Latin word for Jaw Kings. To be like, okay, to like translate. English to Latin. The other ones are pretty good also. Like the Reef Snatchers, I quite like that. Jaw King. Maxilla Regum. Okay, no. Jaw Kings. That one, I points for that one. That is absolutely amazing. But the Trapper is also good. I think Reef Snatcher. Let's call it Reef Snatcher. Reef Snatcher. I'm gonna take the name immediately. Put that in there. Reef Snatcher. Quite cozy music, to be honest. Huh? Reef Snatcher. That's cool. Got to do like a little fish. Then next we're gonna do the Heron. It's gonna be fun. Okay, color. So we are deep down. So color is not as essential. Also with color, yeah, I'm a little bit more open to doing variation for colors, but it depends on what I'm doing. For a creature, I'm a little bit more open because there can be lots of different color things that make sense for a creature, for the same shape of creature, but for different environments, because color is very environment dependent. So I think that just makes inherent sense. Ooh, the song is kind of interesting. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. It just feels like deep down and mysterious. Oh yeah, a black mouth. It should be a black mouth so that nobody sees it coming. And black teeth. I mean, it ended up becoming like a fish. I had hoped to become a little bit more alien, but this just felt the most right. Let's get some kind of brighter thing going on here. Hello, Justin Black. Welcome. Milan asks, are you using that red underpaint for some notion of subsurface scattering in animals? No, so the red underpaint, it's just a habit, but I always like this principle that I think it's basically, I guess you would refer to it as an underpaint, right? And if I'm going for a certain color, in my mind I was going for something kind of bluish and dark. Then I think a good underpaint can be a opposite color to that thing, to get like just a slight hue or contrast or something here and there to give it a little bit of vibrancy. I'm not using it for a specific effect in the animal, unless it's like planned, and if it's not planned, then the underpaint just gives like the colors a little bit of variance in a contrasting way to get that in. And specifically I wanted to do something that was not very high in contrast, so I didn't go for like an orange or a yellow, which would maybe contrast more to a blue. So it was just, you know, that's the extent of the thought. Maybe it was more like red, I'm probably gonna do something blue, so I'll have a little bit of red there to vary the color up. Oh, the thing has done that stupid thing again. Bird, and now I need to go back. Bird. There. I do want to do something at the end of the tongue, but might do something a little bit different. I don't want this fish to stand out too much. It can have slight patterns of difference here and there, but it is a deep sea fish, so it shouldn't be too flashy. Too flashy. There we go. There we go. And I'll do a material pass afterwards on this one, and that's hopefully where this thing will really come together. It's with the material pass, so like getting the shine and stuff. Yeah, exactly, grayish. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Like this kind of a thing. And then just because of the value contrast, that will just seem very interesting. Which I quite like. That feels special. It could overall probably be a little bit darker. I might just grab a multiply thing here and just give it a little bit of darkness. Just want to see how dark. No, you know what? Do that with shadow. Okay, shadow for this thing. How would I want to portray this? How would I want to portray like a... how would we actually portray this? What's a good way of rendering out a fish? We can have a very weak shadow on it, because it's not really supposed to be that directionally lit. I like this fish. This is a good fish. It's almost getting like a weird iridescent feel right now, just from the weird coloring. Oh, this red thing, I like that. We are on the water, so we could have a little bit more crazy colors. I might interject some slight fun here and there. Maybe some things like this. Just to give it a little bit of... Yeah, that feels good. I like that. Feels like a blade, and there's a hook in the front. now we can do some kind of, don't know what's going on with the music, but we're rolling with it. Colors a little bit a lot right now, but we will deal. We'll find a way to make it work. But it does, yeah, it's cool. It's the fun thing with fish that you can do these kind of things, and insects. Okay. I always like to do it too much, so I can. It's easier to go back than the opposite. Okay, let's see what we can do with these colors. I think the music is looping now. This is pretty cool. I like this fish. The reef snatcher. It feels evil. I like it. This is a good one. Yeah, this is a cool fish. Reef snatcher. Okay, nice. This one is done. Awesome. Anything I missed? Did I miss a bunch of stuff? I don't know, maybe green on the tongue. Bladed tongue too. Did you saw the giant skull they found recently of an old sea creature? Was it the one of a mosasaur or a plesiosaurus? Giant sea creature skull. It looked like it was a plesiosaur kind of thing. Pilosaur, sorry. No, plesiosaur. Yeah, I saw that one. It's a plesiosaur. Plesiosaur is looks like this. Marine reptiles. Remember, marine reptiles are not dinosaurs. They are just a different clade of reptiles. Their own thing. Their own thing. But they're great. Reef snatcher. Now it's Heron time. Oh, make space available. Maybe I need to make some space available. Let's see here. Sorry, it's just gonna be my ugly mug for a little bit as I clear the hard drive from space. I can see that a lot of it is gone. What is taking up all the space? Probably some things in downloads. Maybe some things in Photoshop here that could probably... No, I don't want to mess up the stream. I do not want to mess it up, so I'm just going to save some things here and close some things to free up some space. I'm just going to save the file. Memes are taking up all the space. My face. Yeah, I was thinking temp files also, but usually my temp files are on a different drive, so that should not be an issue anymore, but maybe it is. Yeah, I'm not using the C drive for I had like 5 gigs in my trash. So there should be some space again. There's a little bit of space again. Back to the stream. Nice. Okay. Heron time. Ooh. This was a good fish. I like that. That was a very good that was a good addition. Thank you. Okay, I'm feeling pretty warm. Delete the stream, taking up too much space. The question is, will this be the last creature we do? Then maybe I should do it a little bit nicer. I have been kind of building up to this thing so far. I just turned on the music a little bit. We're doing the Heron thing. Somebody asked for the Heron thing, and I want to combine it with that like double mouth thing. I know we just kind of had like a double mouth, but I think that could be very, very cool. So it has a little bit of that like, you know, latching out effect, especially as a heron, because you maybe want to dig down. You know, I think the Spinosaurus is really interesting. Spinosaurus, this guy. Very controversial creature. Exactly, was it like this or was it like this? You know, what exactly was the body plan? It wasn't like this as in Jurassic Park. That's not what it was like. More likely it was something like this. I'm still of the opinion that probably it was walking on 2 legs, and then it could have a heron-like effect, but then it could go down to 4. It could be that it was just 4-legged and then it would stand and then have a little bit of a crocodile kind of thing, but then with a neck going down, because the Spinosaurus has these like marks on the skull, like these little pores, and it uses the pores to sense vibrations in the water, so it will just have its head in the water, and then if something touches, then it'll snap, kind of like a crocodile. Yeah, so it's not like a heron, but it has a little bit of a heron quality. The thing is, actually, you know, in Copenhagen, the city I live in Denmark, there's this guy called the Heron Man, called Heron, and he just died. But he was this guy who was basically he was just friends with the herons, and people kept moving him around. They kept like, or the local place of land, they were like, oh, please don't sit here, Heron Man. And it's like, just let the guy with the herons, because it's awesome. He would hang out with the herons, and you know, he's just one of those oddities of a city, but I think that was cool. What the hell, that's cool. But he just died, so rest in peace, Heron Man. Erik was his name. So yeah. It was like yesterday, no? Wasn't yesterday that he died? So basically today. Heron. So a heron kind of thing. A heron has this thing where it walks around. Actually, that's the question. And because storks, they will do this thing where they walk around, right? And then they'll snap. And I think a heron probably do something very similar. You know, walk around with its tall legs and then it'll dig its head down. And that's kind of that strategy that is interesting. And it might slice something if it can get away with it. Snake there, good eye. Heron is such a great bird. It's one of the great birds. Ooh, boy, that's... Heron eats juvenile alligator. What the hell? Whoa, that's... That just makes it look a million times more savage. So it's something like that. So it's like a heron-like creature. So it's probably not going to look exactly like a heron, but something that is heron-like. So it kind of has that... There's something with that, the mouth, so... Is it that the inside... So what would it actually do? It would... and then maybe stuff will come out. It's kind of like if... What if it has this kind of... And then maybe... yes, all the art in the Black Horizon art stuff is made by me. Yeah, just all of it, all the writing, every single thing is made by me. Oh, is that the dodo? Dronte is her, yeah, Dronte is the dodo. This is the Dronte. Lauberg. Oh, right, like a toucan kind of thing. Yeah, right now I'm just trying to figure out this like or it's more like if a lizard was like a, or like a monitor lizard was a was like a heron. This kind of stuff here. What I was imagining with the mouth was maybe that it would look something like actually kind of like this. And then the central bit here would be like two fangs shooting out. kind of. It's no, something different. Sorry. If you're growing attached to that one, then I'm sorry. Oh, this one is cool. It's a cool bird. Oh, this keeps happening. Let's see here. I think I have this feature and I just figured it out last time, and I keep having to turn it on and off again. It's just like Photoshop doesn't want to save the feature. General. It's under enable flick panning, that thing. It just makes the computer hate everything. There we are. Okay, let's try. It will be the last creature we do tonight. But exactly what it should be. I want to make it this heron, and I want to make it like double jointed with the mouth. Maybe it's more like a crocodile thing, and then the internal mouth. I really want to figure out this mouth thing. That for some reason that just really seems like something I would. Okay. Here we have some kind of head with that kind of shape. And it kind of looks a little bit like the alligator fish, or what it's called. That's okay. I will even put the eye there. Should be like there. Nope. I like it more here. Then I want to have the kind of weird mouth thing going on inside. Like way more So I'm always imagining that all the way from there, from the front of the mouth, it can kind of act like an elastic for the rest of the mouth, hiding inside. So that's the kind of thing that's going on, potentially. Right, so if we took the head and duplicated it down here, oh, maybe just down here or something, then we just said this thing can just go away there. Then here we can have the mouth and open it. Same thing here. Open that thing there. And then this mouth can then do something like this. Just seems ridiculous now that I'm looking at it. Maybe it's more like this kind of a thing. Ooh, that looks very, very bizarre. Maybe it's just that the mouth opens way too much. I think the mouth opens too much. That's probably the issue right now. So this is just straight up like basically alien kind of stuff, right? I kind of DG. I'm seeing like the comments you're making, like maybe it's just like the skull that's in there, that's like coming out, and then there's this like kind of scaly thing underneath. Actually, I like that. I think that feels interesting. That the head would be able to go through like that. But that would mean the eye would have a very... But then maybe the eye is a very different kind of thing. So maybe the... maybe the whole skull thing. Okay, this is interesting actually. I need to like think about this because this is very interesting. So let's say we have a skull. Wait, I'm gonna use this one as a reference because I like that shape. So a skull for this thing. Maybe the skull is like... maybe the skull is like... it has teeth and stuff. And it's in here. And the jaw is in here. It's basically kind of what sharks can do, right? They can detach their lower mouth, but now we're just trying to reinvent the same thing. So maybe it has this quite bizarre skull underneath. And what we want to actually detach is this entire bone thing here, like that. And this thing has a thing that attaches here. That, and then some kind of right, and then maybe whatever is happening here is this stuff here. I don't know what that line is. Then this part here is the part that actually moves and comes out. And then the idea is that the mouth opens a little bit, and it's just kind of this like thinner sheath of a skin that kind of just opens a little bit. So maybe we would need some kind of bones to assist with that lift. I think that would make sense. So we have some kind of bone here. So on top of these bones here, we have this kind of bone layered right there. So this is the bone that's gonna help lift the skin off these guys. We have the same thing maybe here. This just sitting inside of the thing then. Okay, so then bro is cooking as in I'm high, or okay. So then this thing here, right, that would attach somewhere up here, kind of would have some muscle mass sitting there ish. This thing will also have a bunch of muscle mass, probably sitting down there ish, pulling that stuff down. Then you'd probably have some stuff that could launch these things forward. There'd probably be some kind of suspension muscles attached to the ridge of this thing here. Probably some muscles like sitting like this kind of, and some muscles sitting the same way with like this kind of stuff, like here. Then these muscles, this one and this one, they're the ones that'll pull this stuff forward, like that. Probably have some other muscles sitting here, etc., to help with things. Okay, this makes sense to me. So it's like, this is proper design, you know, like actually going through and making sense of everything. We've got muscle groupings going there, we got that there, we got the different bone shapes. This is exactly what we want. Let's see here. Like that. Then take these three things here, put them together in a group, just minimize them. That will take a little. And maybe we just let a little bit of the bone peek out here, so I'll have something like this happening here. Like that, makes sense. Then we can have a little bit of a bone showing thing there. The muscle can just show there. This thing can be shown there. Maybe some of this muscle here can just come and wrap in, showing that, like so. Like that. Oh yeah, I like this. It kind of looks like a baryonyx. These kind of muscles here can just show a little bit there. That's the question, whether I want this lip structure. Maybe I actually do want it like more up there. It will get this like weird kind of smile, but maybe that's okay. cool. Then there's a lot of these lines we can figure out how to clean up and stuff afterwards. A tendon is a ligament, you know. Like a tendon is just supposed to like bind something, where a muscle is actually like has pulling force. I don't think too much about tendons versus like muscles. Okay, there we go. That's that bit there. Then I think I can turn these guys off. And I kind of want to finish the head so I can do the open one here. Let's see here. Have this one like this. Nope, not this one. Oh, not that one there. Just this one. Along those lines. It's very weird that I can't click to deselect stuff here. Why can't I do that? Oh, that's why. Okay. Then this one can be the one that's opening this stuff here. The same thing goes for that thing here. This thing is also opening up something. And then we'll say that these ones here, they get to kind of just bottle chop a little bit here to actually pull the thing. And same goes for these guys. They get to also just bottle chop a little bit. And then these guys, they also kind of bulge up a little bit. Like that, kind of. See, we gotta go. See you around. Yeah, thanks, Jules. Thanks for joining. See you around. That was the worst clap in human history, but you deserve it. That sounded really bad. That's kind of what's going on there. Then hopefully I should be able to just have a little bit more of a. So these guys, they would come up here. Potentially. Bye. So that's kind of what's going on there. It's kind of this shell kind of thing. That does look pretty freaky. Okay, good to know. Get that thing down. Get these guys down to a below thing here. Maybe remove that one. Get this thing down here. When it sneezes, it launches the thing. Yeah, 100%. Okay, let's see. So that's reference. Get that on top here. And then this thing. It does look kind of terrifying, which is kind of cool. It looks a little bit like a dolphin also. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's it. There you go. Oh wait, what's going on here? It's completely offset. Wait, what? Did I accidentally offset the whole thing? Oh, I thought I was so far off with my measurements before. I just offset it by mistake. Okay, cool. And then this thing is roughly there. Well, that makes more sense. It looked wrong to me. Kinda has a very creepy dolphin vibe. That you know, it's something. I think I'm gonna put in some more tendons here. I think that would just make a lot of sense. Exactly like that. This is quite cool though. I like this. This is a very cool, weird Heron thing. Oh, we haven't even drawn the body yet. We just gone to the head, but that's also pretty fun. And I know we were talking about like drawing everything holistically earlier, but there was just a lot to figure out for this thing. And the color will do a lot to get this to make sense. Right here. Oh, this one looks psychopathic. It looks very alien though. I really like that. It looks quite alien, but also it feels like there's a good reason for it to do it like this. Okay, that's cool. So basically we got those two heads. I don't need that one. Don't really need that one. I'm just gonna keep the muscle stuff like that. And then like that. Oh. Oh yeah, the skull, of course. A skull might be nice to have in there. There we go. Line, 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 line. So we have these guys. Those guys, they can go down to 25. 35. These guys can also go to 35. Cool, like that. They get to go here and just be there. And then we'll do do some coloring in here real quick, just so we know what we're dealing with. Yes. These songs, by the way, they're from Artlist. They're not from, I mean, maybe they're available online, but they're from Artlist, so I'm paying for this music to be allowed to stream it on my streams. So I don't know how available it is to just listen to, but maybe it just is. A little bit of opacity in this thing, that's a little bit annoying, but we can fix it by just combining these two. Very nice. Rich. So it's Artlist, right? So a lot of YouTubers use Artlist to just have their music. They provide like all kinds of music under a license, so you pay like a certain amount a year or something, and then it you can use it. I could also just use the stuff that YouTube provides, but it's Artlist works for me. That's great. There we go. Oh, no. Select, modify, expand, sure. Cool. Then I have my heads. Then we can give them some color. Probably clever to color the top one first. Then I could transfer the colors maybe. What kind of color are we? See, the color is a lot easier when you're doing big picture. Just doing color on like this kind of thing like this is like you don't really know what you're gonna get. So I'm not gonna do something really wild until I get to do the full one. I'm just gonna do a little bit. I see a little bit of the skeleton peeking through there, or something like that, maybe with a bit darker teeth kind of thing, and then maybe a little bit of redness. Like that. A little bit of redness over there, hinting to something. Maybe some kind of funny white eye kind of thing. The blue definitely also makes it look a little bit more Heron-like. This is kind of interesting. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's not the right color. It's also not the right color. Greater trap jaw. Maybe this one is actually the Jar Jar Kings. This is kind of interesting. It's like black weird big thing. Does it then get to go all the way here? Oh yeah, maybe it does. Maybe it does. Just have some kind of extreme eyes. Let's see here. Yeah, the hat is kind of interesting. Yep, something like that. It might be that the base color should change from blue to something else. Blues, let's see here. We'll see later. See later. Okay, let's try coloring the bottom one as well. Oh, actually, we could just copy their colors. That. Pangolin. Okay, let's just start by making all this bony. Then we can give it this. And I think, you know, going through the steps of like making this really function and being proper does give you the result in the end. Like it's quite hard to get to that like feeling of realism if you don't go through the actual thinking steps. Like the whole design process where we're designing the actual anatomy and stuff, like it just doesn't come the same way if you're not going through the steps. So very much something I would recommend to try to, if you're trying to do something similar. Then it looks absolutely terrifying, this thing, but I think it's great. It looks so strange, but you can feel kind of the structure underneath that it would work. You know, it just, we've done the groundwork to make this all feel right. Like these muscles and the way that the stuff attaches. It feels, so, in a weird way, it feels feasible. And I think that's really the big trick to it. I might change the teeth over there a little bit. They don't feel quite up to snuff here. The same on we have this big tooth on the bottom side there that I really want to highlight. That. See, I would like to make a creature at some point where I just go all the way, you know, and do all this kind of stuff, and do nice breakdowns of all these elements. And it could be like, it could be this creature, because honestly I'm starting to kind of like it. I don't want these things to be shadows, I just want them to be color variation. So maybe I can get a little bit of that going on if I get something a little bit darker here. It's nice because then when it looks like that, it looks pretty normal, and then when it opens its mouth, it's absolutely terrifying. It's just, it's the worst. Okay, I think I kind of have the creatures somewhat. So I want to create an actual standing version of it. So we're going to duplicate this group here. Gonna bring it here. Gonna bring in some things like this here. It's just gonna get annihilated here. And then we're gonna double check that we actually have a duplicate. We do, nice. All this stuff here, we don't need that. We don't need this stuff here. Still have a duplicate, nice. Don't need that. Mix layers. That's good. Then we have this thing here. Then we can start figuring out this body for this thing. So this is more of a challenge because now we have to extrapolate a feeling from this guy. So let's do a new thing here. So it's also a little bit exciting because none of you have seen, you know, we've only seen the head. So what is it? The full creature is gonna be like? Because there's many ways it could be still bird-like, but I'm not thinking so much bird. Dude, super jacked. Now it's very bird-like, of course. I was thinking kangaroo body also, actually. That was, it crossed my mind. Very like, see, the thing with the Heron is that it kind of, it likes, yeah, there's something here about this. the Heron, it kind of likes waltzing the water, and then it kind of, so it has a little bit of that feeling, but the legs are not quite there in length. But maybe this one can also fly, but in a different kind of way. Yeah, I was thinking longer legs, but I'm just like, maybe it's more. Kind of need more space for this. Yeah, exactly. Like maybe the last finger extends in the wing or something, and then. Oop. It's kind of like griffin-like. I was just thinking maybe it could be like a animal that like hovers, not hovers, like glides. It has this like wingsuit kind of thing going on. It's like wingsuit legs. I don't really want to give it 6 legs. I think it's kind of. I don't like that. I like this thing that was going on here. Something about this that I liked. And then here, there. Like shape-wise, this, or balance-wise more actually, this kind of just feels good. But I still want to give it like the wings. I just want it to be the correct kind. Then bring in the legs here. Yeah, okay, yeah. There's something here with these shapes going in there. just like the shape of this this thing here, and I kind of still want to give it wings, but maybe more like gliding kind of wings. Maybe it has a bone sticking up here, and then it kind of yeah, I kind of like that. And then this other bone here can kind of wait, so that's the bone there, that goes on the outside. Yep, like that. See you, Plexi, thanks for tonight. I'm also done very soon, I think. No, this tail. That's something to it, but it just doesn't fit with the rest of the Still not sure if the wings are really it for it. See, I always struggle when if you don't do it holistically, then, and you know, I think there's lots of stuff they've already done that could like be good, but it's just not the feeling that, ooh, maybe this is what it is. We're guessing it is kind of getting a fat ass if it gets something like this. The problem now is the height, but maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it's just a different kind of creature, then it just feels more right. Yeah. And you know what? You know the spinal kind of thing. This is kind of the spinal tail, you know? Like it has, it can pick up heat, or it can do the whole heat thing with this tail. I think that's actually a really good thing. And then it'll have a very similar feeding strategy to the Spinosaurus, where it has those like sensors on the nose or something. But then it can be like, and then it does the thing with the jaw. It feels appropriate. I gotta say. And yeah, it'd be better to have it on your back, but now it has it on its tail, so I don't mind. I do want to do a more clean line, but I don't want to take all the time. I just want to see it with color, and then maybe I'll get back to it later. I just feel like now I owe everyone to see something a bit more finished. Come on, come on, come on. Where is the culprit? Where's the culprit? Yes, got it. Select, modify, contract. Oh, opposite way. Select, modify, contract. Yep. And then so the bottom of the creature probably wants to be fairly bright, so that to creatures looking up through the water, it camos more. And then because the creature wants to really be very good at regulating its body heat, then probably it wants to be fairly bright, so that it can, maybe just wants to be bright. And this one probably has to have some kind of yeah, something like that for regulating heat, you know. Maybe that one can help distract from the face or something. And that's like very weird spot that distracts. Is the fin ripped or just fleshy? So I'm seeing it as like maybe yeah, kind of ripped. Yeah, like maybe not necessarily like bone structure, but maybe more like cartilage, a bit more organic, but definitely thin in that sense. Makes it look like it's an eye, but I'll put a white thing like that for distracting animals away from the face. It's a bizarre creature, this one, damn. I kinda wanna grab this secondary head here and just see what it looks like. Probably whoop, whoop, whoop. Then maybe a little bit more push. Nice. Oh. Yeah, that's pretty terrifying. That is such a weird thing. Not super sold on the coloring thing yet. The dark might be a bit too dark, especially because it doesn't really gel with the head. I'll take a crack at that at another point, but for now this one is complete idea. Maybe it's a twinkle twinkle. Cool. So that's this one. It's called the Greater Trap Jaw. Okay, that's what it is. It's the Greater Trap Jaw. Yeah, definitely the body needs a little bit more work here, but well, this takes some time. I want to put the name on it, and then I want to wrap up, basically. So we're going for a while now. I was hoping I could make it 3 hours, but I never can. Okay, let's see here. Let's get a name thing. Greater Trap Jaw. Love it. That's amazing. Cool. I mean, we managed to do some things this time. That's great. We got this one. We got the reef snatcher. We got a Roback's bison. Yeah, that is fun. Oh yeah. Nice. I think that's it for the stream, guys. As always, we have to end on a tax evasion tip. I don't know why, it's just tradition. So if you want to evade your taxes, just tell them that a greater trap jaw ate them. They'll be so confused, they'll be like, okay, let's see you next week. And then that's basically how you're gonna do it. Thanks for everyone joining. Thanks to everyone here. Thanks for lasting this long, and enjoy the rest of your evening, morning, or midday, depending on where you are in the world. And see you all in the next one.